Scarlet. Oh, wait, there it goes.
Okay.
Just popped up.
So, in case you didn't hear the intro, live from the east side of the White House lawn, this is Around Midnight with the local boys. I'm Joe Carbonetta, Todd Fluker, Chevelle Devine, and as usual, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants.
We're supposed to check these things before we go on the air.
Yeah, you know. You know what they say about the best laid plans?
No, what did they say?
I don't know what they say. It never, seldom do they work out. Something to that effect. Anyway, speaking of things that didn't work out, CJ, what's the final score tonight on Game 3 of the World Series?
5-3, I think.
Dodgers versus the Astros.
Astros won?
Astros won 5-3, you said?
I think that's what it was.
My heart is broken tonight. And I'm sure with a lot of other fans on the West Coast. Go Dodgers! We're gonna pick it up. Though.
Anything different?
We're gonna pick this up.
You think so?
Yes, I do. We are going to win this.
Okay. All right.
The last time was 1988 that we took home the series, and I believe we are due to do it again. Now, in all fairness, by the way, the Cubs have only been to the big dance. The Astros have only been to the big dance twice.
Yeah, we smashed through the Cubs already.
This is number 2 time, and they've never won. We've actually won. LA, that is, has won more times in the series than the Astros have ever been to the series.
Oh, I thought you meant us personally.
No.
Does that include the Brooklyn, or is that strictly LA?
That's strictly LA. So anyway,
Still, 2 is not a hard number to beat.
What about you guys? Have you guys been paying attention to this at all? I mean, either one of you, or am I the only one?
I've only been listening on the peripheral because people around me are like, hello.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid when you're just driving down the street and you see every gas station has one of those little pop-up shops with all the Dodgers swag on it.
Uh-huh. So do you guys have a preference for which team wins, just out of curiosity?
I mean, you can't not root for the Dodgers.
I think you can not.
They're
root for
our
the
team.
They're not our team. Are you kidding me?
They are literally our team.
They are not our team.
I'm going to try and forget you said that.
What? Who is our team then?
I don't know. The Pasadena Bulldogs. The Marshall Eagles.
That'll be the day.
Pasadena City College Lancers.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're talking.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe you guys want some help putting your arm back in your socket on that one.
They're terrible.
I'm just saying. I'm all for the sports. There's some awesome athletes and whatnot, but it's not.
We want to root for winners.
Yeah, but they're not really local, though. I mean, these people come from all over the country, and they basically go to the highest bidder. Like, if the people playing for the team were actually from L.A., I'd be like, oh, yeah, L.A.'s going to get it in.
And sometimes not from this country.
Yeah, they're...
a lot of them are Cuban.
Yeah, the best ones are not even from the continent.
All right.
Well, I guess that's part of the
continent. And, just
so, I don't know.
I'm going to throw it out there
saying.
just for the heck of it that we are live, and you can get a hold of us by dialing 951-356-6882.
And I think they're going to lose.
And... if you want to tell Chevelle once again how dead wrong he is, you can please give us a call. Todd is actually sitting there manning the phone lines. He mans the internets and the phone, and he's waiting to take your call tonight. Alternatively, you can scream at any one of us at any time on Twitter. You can reach me at Joe Carbonetta, Chevelle at Chevelle Devine, and of course Todd at Todd Fluker. So there's multiple avenues to reach us. There's also the email address at mixified@gmail.com, and of course if you're signed in to YouTube, you can sit there and scream at us
to watch us
live, in real time. And Todd's pretty good about watching that kind of stuff, and he'll get back to you.
Check out the live chat.
Exactly.
Like, follow, subscribe.
And before I forget, we have to give a shout out to Kelly tonight, because Kelly made for us this wonderful, what is it? This is a chocolate banana nut bread. I mean, this is awesome. This is really...
I mean, it's all right.
Oh, yeah. He said, says the man who ate half the loaf single-handedly.
No, I think she's going to make it 1 or 2 more times so I can really get a feel for the consistency and quality of her product.
By the way, I got to point out, I cut myself a slice. I ate half of it before we moved over here to the studio, and you ate the rest of my slice.
You left it lying around for...
Man, this is a sharing economy, bro.
More than 30 seconds, so...
Yeah.
I think he felt it was up
Well,
for
the
grabs.
joke's on you because I licked it all first.
You saying that like that would stop me.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
that
That
would
does.
affect his thought process
That
in the
actually
least.
encouraged him because he
That's
thought
just
maybe it might have some
pre-digested,
additional
man.
flavor in it. Anyway, all right. So,
I tasted pickle.
so really, really.
What the hell are you talking about?
Anyway,
I smell toast.
okay.
going on?
All right.
That'd be Joe's brain.
So go Dodgers, and thank you, Kelly. And as a matter of fact, if we want the Dodgers to actually pick up the pace and start winning some of these, Kelly, you need to send some of that awesome chocolate banana nut bread to the Dodgers over there in Houston right now, and maybe we can get back on top of this.
You gotta ship it all the way to Houston?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the shipping prices?
Well,
And Kelly's on the YouTube chat. She says, "You're welcome."
Ugh. Now, if only we had that soundbite, that would be awesome. Yeah.
You
All
can
right.
never not say that in the Maui voice now.
That's true. Yeah. No. Yeah, I think that single-handedly is The Rock's greatest role right there, is playing Maui.
Oh, that was The Rock?
Yeah, that was.
Are
The
you
Rock.
kidding? Did you see Central Intelligence with
No.
Kevin Hart?
No, didn't see that.
The cheater Kevin Hart?
No, I never saw that.
Did you guys hear about that? About how he was like being blackmailed for cheating on his wife?
Oh.
He's like, I'm not paying you nothing. I cheated on you, honey.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna get out in front of this.
Wow.
Guess what, baby? I cheated.
All right.
My
well,
bad.
You gotta. What do you say to that? Appreciate your honesty? I don't know. Now on to things that are less cut and dried. Are you guys familiar with this book that is being released? That was co-authored by 27. It was a consortium of 27 psychologists and mental health experts who got together and kind of threw out the rules when it comes to whether or not they should diagnose celebrities that they've never actually
From
spoken with
afar.
directly. Yeah. But they decided that when the dangers of this person outweigh, the good of upholding the oath, they said to heck with it, and they're gonna come out. They're gonna out this guy.
Sounds like a bunch of
And
disgruntled
they call-
out-of-work docs to me.
They call it the hypocritical oath for a reason, right?
I believe it's Hippocratic oath, but good one. I like that. So anyway, yeah, these 27 psychologists and mental health experts got together and wrote this book. They've titled it "The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump," and of course they sit there and discuss his mental state of mind and his ability to be effective and to be a rational leader, and
To
it's
be
very
a human
interesting.
being?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So they, oh, you know what? And I forgot, by the way, we are in this segment.
Trump in the news.
I totally forgot about that. Why did you guys
Our
not?
one piece of production.
How come you guys weren't on me over that? But anyway, so they said they threw out terms like extreme present hedonism.
I'm not even sure what that means.
Well, in layman's
but to be
terms,
fair, psychologists like to make up terms just because it makes them sound smart.
in
so.
layman's terms, they're saying that he lives in the moment and lacks the ability or the foresight to look at the consequences of his actions before he just does something, which obviously speaks to the situation that is brewing with North Korea and the likelihood that he might actually just push the button because he's not thinking about what happens after you push the button.
Because he does that all the time with his Twitter feed.
Apparently, yeah.
Doesn't
He's-
pay attention.
and it's
like in
things
my
like this
brain,
that-
when I see him doing this, I picture him saying, "You're fired," and hitting the button.
Like when he sends out a tweet.
yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, the way he has handled the situation with Kim Jong Un, and basically the fact that, again, forgive me for using the image there of the way he likes to push Kim Jong Un's buttons. He just keeps throwing more things out there, and so there's this serious concern that he does not, or not only does not, but actually lacks the ability to look any farther in the future than what's really right under his nose.
Yeah, because when you really think about what is at stake when you're poking that bear,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you really have to think twice about throwing around the Rocket Man jabs.
Well, you know what? I still like the Rocket Man thing. I'm going to give him props on that one.
I mean,
that was pretty funny.
It's good, but is it worth it?
Oh, I guess only time's gonna tell. You know, it depends on who pushes the button first. I guess, you know, if we're just kind of sitting in a crater afterward and doing this from underground in some bomb shelter back at you know Area 50 something, I might rethink whether it was a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering because, like, Joe, when the whole Kim Jong-un thing first came down, you're like, yeah, I agree with Trump on this one. Push the button, yeah, turn into a parking lot. And now you're like, oh, he's a hedonistic, blah, blah, blah,
No,
blah, blah, blah.
I didn't say that. This is what the 27 psychologists and mental health
but,
experts
I mean,
said.
come on.
That's not me. I was
Mental
not
health
one of those
experts.
27, by the way.
I
I was waiting for you to make some kind of comment on the 28th. You know, like 27 out of 28.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. I take issue anytime people start throwing around any kind of mental diagnoses because a lot of people use them as a crutch, and I'm not necessarily saying they are wrong, but I'm not going to go as far as say they're right. It's just I think that a lot of times people want to jump to these conclusions based on how they feel and their own emotional instability rather than actually, you know, having something to back it up, which is part of the whole discussion that psychologists are having about them having written the book.
Okay. Well, see now, in another interesting term that they used to describe him, they suggested that he suffers from narcissistic personality disorder. Which again, going back to this, your layman's terms, Todd, they break it down as he believes that he's better than everybody else. He literally just walks around all day going, I'm smarter than you, I'm better than you, you're fired.
I'm the best. I'm the best.
I'm pretty sure he said as much.
Yeah. Why are we acting surprised by this?
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing, because isn't that what people typically look for in a leader? They look for the bravado. They look for the over the top. You know, particularly today, nobody's looking for that humble guy. Otherwise, we would have.
Well, you know, you make a
as
very
the
convincing argument. See, and here is another interesting analysis that was made in the book. I'm not done, by the way, with the things that they have attributed to his personality disorders. But
And when you say book,
mm-hmm.
how much are they actually writing about this?
There's a book. Apparently, I don't have no idea how many pages this book is, but there is a book.
You can buy it on Amazon. I can see
And
that.
here's the thing. They raise the interesting question, who's really the one that's more crazy? Is it Trump? Or is it the American peoples for having elected him? What does it say about our society as a whole that this man catapulted himself to the top of the roster?
That this guy who says one thing 1 second and then a completely different thing another second, whatever it is that happens to be most beneficial for him at the moment, he's going to go ahead and tell people that. He just tells people whatever they want to
all
hear for the most
politicians
part.
do
I mean,
this?
come on, the double speak is pretty much what every
But-
that's rule
He's
number
just
one
the
in the
best
political
at it.
handbook.
No, he's just much less.
He's more aggressive and more
He's
blunt
more
about it.
transparent about it, I feel like.
Well, interestingly enough, they also described him very, very plainly and simply as a bully. They compare him to the schoolyard kid that goes around shoving everybody else and taking their lunch money.
Poor Melania.
But but they went on to say that when you add the narcissistic personality disorder with the extreme hedonism and the bullying, when you combine all of those things together, you get a quote unquote impulsive, immature, incompetent person who, when in the position of ultimate power, easily slides into the role of a tyrant.
You know what? That sounds like that episode of The Twilight Zone with the kid who trapped all the people in like that little world and would turn them into toys when they didn't
Oh,
know
yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
He would like
that's-
snap his fingers and the guy would end up in a cornfield.
Exactly. I can't think of that kid's name, but it's interesting
I
that
think his
you
name
say
was
that.
Donald.
But see, now here's it might be. See, now here's the interesting thing. We've got these 27 mental health experts that are psychoanalyzing Trump. But if you think about it, aren't they not painting exactly the same picture of the guy leading North Korea right now?
Well, I mean, everybody's already established that they're tyrants, and I'm a firm believer that all leaders, all modern leaders specifically, have to have a little bit of pathology just to even want to do that job.
Well, but see, putting these guys together, this is like the ultimate cage match. We are about to find out what happens when the irresistible
political
force
battles of
meets the
history.
immovable object. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, we've got the worst case scenario brewing now.
Or it could just be those two kids who keep pushing each other and walking in a circle on the playground.
Come at me, bro.
That's true, too. I suppose that, again, we're going to find out what happens when the irresistible force meets the immovable object.
Let's just put him in a cage. Cage match.
Fight to the death? I mean,
have the two of them fight it out, and then we'll really see who's better.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, I keep thinking about, I always hear Dr. Drew talking about, how he doesn't like to diagnose celebrities from afar, but of course being the celebrity doctor that he is, quote unquote, that people are always asking him, hey, what's up with Lindsay Lohan? She's crazy these days, right? And they're always asking him like, hey, what's up with this chick? What's up with celebrity du jour that's having a mental breakdown? What's up with Kanye West? He's acting crazy these days, right? What do you think, Dr. Drew? And he's always...
Really? You're going to bring Dr. Drew into this?
Yeah, he's
the go-to guy.
Yeah,
okay.
Now the guy with the sweater is gone.
He's America's doctor.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
What was his name?
The crazy doctor?
He'd have the late-night psychology show, and you'd call in and you'd talk to him.
You're not talking about Oprah's favorite.
No. Not Phil. No, not Dr. Phil.
Not Dr. Phil. Okay.
I thought you were talking about Cosby.
No, he wore sweaters, though. It was late at night.
He was talking about Mr. Rogers,
Yeah.
actually.
And I think Rush Limbaugh used to come on right about the same time.
By the way, Rush Limbaugh was the guy that we couldn't remember on the
Limbaugh.
last show.
Was it Rush Limbaugh?
We were talking
Yeah.
about people who've been cut down in the face of the scandal, like and by the way, we'll go into that a little bit later on too.
No, seriously, Chevelle, you did say like sweater, and he was using medications. Come on, that's Cosby, right?
All right, let me throw another one at you. There are other people in the book who suggested that Trump shows, and again, these are quotes, indications of psychopathy or psychopathy, sociopathy. All right, sociopathy, including lack of empathy, absence of guilt, and intentional manipulation. Again, that kind of sounds like most politicians, doesn't it? I mean, basically, we have the makings of the ultimate politician, is what we have here. But they go on to say that when you put this all together, you have malignant narcissism, which includes antisocial behavior, paranoid traits, and even sadism.
This sounds a little like me. I'm getting kind of concerned. Maybe I should be president.
Yeah, it doesn't sound...
You didn't have to agree that fast, Todd. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound unlike you.
Wow.
I mean...
It's getting too rough for me.
I don't know. Maybe it's just your wonky eye looking at me right now.
Yeah.
Wait. You want to tell everybody about that? I don't know if anybody can see that on camera.
My eye and it's bugging the hell out
Oh,
of me.
we can definitely see it.
You can see it on camera? Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Really? You're going to go with a close-up there of that, huh, CJ? Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, that looks bad from that angle.
It's
That really
pretty
does.
bad. It hurts like the Dickens.
Yeah, so this is the man that's now the leader of the free world.
Why do people keep saying that?
Well, because
America has no credibility. We no longer lead the free world.
we don't
Let's
have
stop.
any credibility now that we put... Never mind.
Bro, that credibility went out with Obama. We can't put this all at Trump's
How are you going to
footsteps.
blame Obama?
Because it was Obama who, when he was bowing down to everybody, like trying to be everybody's friend, they were like, oh, America's not got no cojones anymore. Let's just walk all over him. And then that's how you get a president like Trump, because people are like, wait a minute, we want our cojones back. So they go find the biggest sack they could possibly find.
The pendulum went from one extreme to the other.
Yes.
And
It swung far enough to the left, and it was coming off of 8 years of having been on the right. So
Okay.
this is the pattern that America goes through, and it keeps getting further and further out each time.
So
the scary thing is, after Trump, how far to the left are we going to go?
So the real question is, how long before the spring unwinds and the pendulum actually lands back in the middle?
Oh no, Lord Jesus, I'm ready.
All right, well, so moving on just a little bit here, we have to talk about the continuing scandal. The Weinstein scandal and the floodgates are open.
And just again, so I'm clear, this is not something that you drink wine
That
out
would
of.
be a Stein, by the way. Okay, that's different from Steen. Anyway.
And you're sure of this?
Yes, I'm sure of
Okay.
this. So here's to say that the
I'm
floodgates...
going to Google that just in case.
You go right on ahead. To say that the floodgates are open, is this your attempt to actually make it look like you're doing something? Because Todd was talking about how you had no windows open or anything. The floodgates are now open, and 4 women have now come forward and are accusing former President George Bush Sr. of grabbing him in the biscuits.
Is that what we're calling it?
Grabbing him in the ass? I don't know. I didn't want to say that.
Wow, Joe.
but-
Talk about pendulum swing.
Anyway,
Good grief.
Family friendly, Joe.
and here we're on midnight. This can't be family friendly.
No, we're not.
Okay, grabbing him in. Okay,
It's
let
like
me
9 a.m.
Let me make this PC.
Australia.
He's being accused of grabbing him in the buttocks. Does that sound better?
I like biscuits.
You are not chewing that on the microphone.
Yeah, he's chewing it all in the microphone.
Seriously? We start talking about
slow.
we start talking about grabbing people in the biscuits, and he
And I
wants
shoved
to
a biscuit
put
in my
something
mouth.
in his mouth. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So talk about food and not expect
The
me
best
to eat.
part of this, by the way, is several of the women recount the same story. That what happens is he comes in to wherever they are, and people gather for a photo. And as they're standing next to him, this particular woman ends up getting told a joke where he says, "Do you know who my favorite musician or favorite magician is?" And he proceeds to explain it's David Copperfield.
Oh.
And then
You know-
he proceeds to...
Copperfield.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great gag.
That's not. That joke was actually flying around quite a bit while he was president,
Well, apparently he really liked that one and just took that ball and ran with it.
so to speak.
So his people have issued an apology, and I'm kind of curious to know where that's going to go. You know, how much farther we're going to drag this out.
Didn't Copperfield have his problems?
It seems to me that everybody has their problems, and
I mean, no, Copperfield literally had what people were calling Rape Island.
oh, really?
Wasn't that Copperfield?
I don't know. CJ, you might want to do some research on that one. I'm not familiar with this one. Is
that where the
I don't want to get
wineskins
sued by
are-
Copperfield.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay, yeah.
Yvette jumps on the YouTube chat. She says, "Nice hat, Joe."
Oh, thank you, Yvette. I appreciate that. Wow. All right. Hey, somebody at least is appreciating my sense of sport style.
Pride.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. Okay, so I guess we'll be coming back after this. CJ, maybe you can tell us whether the Copperfield allegations are correct. And
They are.
I'm just
According to
they are. Oh,
ABC
you were supposed to
News,
save
Oh,
that until
my bad.
after, so that people
so
will
after,
come back.
After the break, I'm going to tell you that yes, they are.
All right. So around midnight with the local boys, Joe, Todd, Chevelle, and we are live, 951-356-6882. Give us a call. We'll be back right after this. All right, Malibu Film Festival's films, charity events, and special programs continue to evolve in support of the arts in your community, and you can help by becoming a sponsor of the Malibu Film Festival. Donate at MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. That's MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. Check them out. All right, it is around midnight with the local boys, and time is what now? 10:24.
Ish.
And we haven't had a time zone discussion tonight, guys. But you guys, you do realize
Had to bring
daylight
it up.
savings time is coming up pretty quick, at least for those of us over here.
This is the one time a year it would actually be pertinent.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason that I'm letting everybody know about this is remember that we're going to fall back, which means you get an extra hour. So when you go to look for us at 10, I want to make sure that they're not looking for us at 10 when it's really only 9 o'clock, and then they think we're not going to be
So
there.
when does this happen?
Sunday, March 12th.
What?
Wait.
No. It's in November, man.
Sunday, November 5th. Yeah, November 5th. I said that like there was more. I didn't. I'm sorry, my tonometer is off.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sunday, November 5th.
That was all right. That was a good one. Wait a minute. Did I? Are we getting a phone call?
I think we got a call.
Are you gonna answer that?
Yeah, I did answer it.
All right.
Oh, geez.
Hey, caller, are you there? Hello.
You
I'm
broke it.
sorry. I didn't catch that. Press 2 to call. I'm sorry that you're having trouble. I'll try calling you again later.
Wow.
Stupid
Bye-bye.
Google voice.
You know, that's pretty interesting. That was some artificial intelligence right there, and that kind of ties in with the next topic up for
Oddly
discussion.
enough, that had a better tonometer than Todd.
Yeah, it really did, as a matter of fact. What happened to our caller, though, Todd?
Call back, caller.
Okay. Well, it's nice to know that some things never change. Oh, they're calling back again. Fantastic. We're going to try this again. Here-
Okay, try it now.
Hey, caller, are you there? I can hear
Yeah.
myself. You got to turn down your internets.
I thought we were always.
Maybe we should say that at the beginning
just
of
another
every
case of
episode. To
history
turn down the
repeating.
internets.
Okay, wait, hold on.
YouTube told us we were ultra low latency.
Hey, no, to be fair, that is a pretty quick response time.
It's a pretty quick.
Because it was like 30 seconds.
That was
when we
really
first-
surreal to hear myself coming back through the
You
phone
gotta
again.
give it to YouTube. They got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah.
They know what they're talking about with this whole streaming video thing.
And the controlling of the internet.
Okay, so caller, are you there?
Is that better?
Yes, that's better. I don't hear myself anymore, so it's definitely an improvement. How are you tonight?
Guess who?
Who?
Anastasia Beaverhausen.
That's
Anastasia,
just a-
did you know that daylight savings is going to end on November 5th?
I'm going to take that
Try-
as a no.
Anastasia, you want to listen to us through the telephone, not the computer.
I am.
Okay. You did.
She's just strategically ignoring
Yeah,
us.
Todd, so you're just
I
ignoring.
am.
You're just ignoring Todd. Then is that
No.
because he just spoke to you and then there was complete silence.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, you want to try it again, Todd?
Not really.
No, Todd doesn't.
What did you say?
Are you aware that your daylight savings time is going to change? November 5th, we're going to fall back.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me.
I have
Whoa,
a calendar.
that was a riveting discussion.
Oh, okay, so
I have a calendar.
wow.
Not
Tom's getting too rough for me.
not everybody has a calendar these days.
Yeah, man.
I have something to say about the Bush situation.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you what you were calling to talk about, but please, by all means, please chime in on this.
Okay. First of all, the man is 1,000 years old. He's in a wheelchair. Let him cop a feel.
Well, he wasn't in a wheelchair at the time.
Yeah, according to some of the
No,
reports,
they
he was
said
not
he
in a
was in a
wheelchair at the
wheelchair.
time. What's that?
He wasn't. They said he was in the wheelchair at the time.
No. Some of the women say he was not in a wheelchair at the time, according to these news reports that we have unearthed. This breaking news that we have.
Oh, brother. Anyway, like I said, the man is old in a wheelchair. Let him cop a feel. Not gonna kill anybody.
I don't know if I can get down with that.
Let me flip the tables on you, Anastasia. So if an old man comes up to you at the bus stop and just decides to
Cop a feel.
grab you in the
handful of
biscuits, are
biscuits.
you okay?
Or-
You're okay with that then? Because he's old and in a wheelchair.
He decides to tell you a joke.
You probably make his little day.
What's that?
Yeah, it would. It would
You
definitely
probably
make his day.
little day.
Okay, but that's
Okay,
kind of,
all I'm saying is
nobody's
that
arguing
answer is
that
yes,
nobody's
I'm going
arguing
to get
that
a
he's going to
wheelchair
enjoy it.
today.
But my question is,
We're
are
talking
you
about Bush.
gonna turn around and hit him with your purse or something and call the police, or are you gonna be okay with it?
It's going to be like an episode of Benny Hill.
Really?
Yeah, and then the
he's
horns,
Bush.
the saxophone's going to play.
Okay,
He's
so
not some random person on the bus stop.
I see. So you're saying it would have to be a former president, and then you're okay with it?
Not necessarily, but just him.
I think Anastasia's got a thing for Bush.
That could be taken a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, wait. Let me
defending him.
let the former president. Let me quantify or clarify that
No,
right now.
I'm just defending him. Like I said, the man is 1,000 years old in a wheelchair. Come
Okay.
On
All right.
I get it. Anastasia's into bush and butts.
Oh.
Me and my brain don't get along. He's always getting me in
God.
trouble.
now. Okay, you guys. I'll let you go. I'll talk to you later.
Does that mean you don't want to talk to us anymore now, Anastasia?
I gotta go.
We can continue talking. What do you want to talk about?
just checking. I thought I wanted to make sure we hadn't offended you in
You
some
been
way.
watching the Dodgers?
Of course.
Yeah.
Why?
They lost tonight.
I am heartbroken.
What did they
by the way.
do?
I want the world to know.
What did they do?
Yeah, how did they mess up so bad? Is it because they were they were in
not moving,
Houston's
they were
house?
out in the field, and they weren't moving their feet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I hear that's bad if you want to win the game.
You know what we got to do? Well, I guess it won't. I was going to say we should have Anastasia call in and give us the latest
report?
updates of the sports. Yeah, maybe we should have you do that on a regular basis, Anastasia. You've been a regular caller for us now. You should call in every Friday night and then give us the.
My throat hurts from yelling at the TV.
See, this is you should just give us the sports every Friday night. Doesn't matter who's playing, but what you should give us a rundown of the sports.
Okay, I will.
Sports correspondent.
Yeah, there we go.
Anastasia.
Anastasia Beaverhausen on the scene. All right. Well, Anastasia, thank you.
You guys are so cute.
What's that?
I said, you guys are so cute.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that.
Can you get into the locker room of, like, I don't know, the Kings or the Lakers or something?
Or George Bush?
I did at the Angel Stadium.
Ooh.
Yeah, but nobody watches the Angels.
I'm wondering why.
Did you talk to that Trout?
It wasn't necessarily locker room.
That
but,
Trout guy?
I went down below where you're not supposed to go, and they were like, miss, but I was following Flo Rida.
Flow right.
Yeah, because I'm like all these limos, all these Suburbans, and I'm like, okay.
Yo, Flo.
Find them.
Flo, it's me.
Right?
Anastasia.
Beaverhausen.
You know.
The one that calls around midnight.
Okay. Well, huh. So that worked out for you? I mean, they didn't toss you out of the park or anything, I guess?
No, I was underneath with him and his crew, and they eventually did toss me out.
So you didn't see Mike Trout.
There, she's ignoring you again.
Seriously,
I mean, I don't
is
know.
my mic not going to the phone or something?
I'm pretty sure that it
I
is.
like Trout.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to hear.
Yeah, she's just not trying to listen to you, Todd. That's pretty much what it boils down to. All right, well, Anastasia, thank you very much for calling. We appreciate that, and for humiliating Todd.
Yeah,
He's
yes.
actually turned 2 shades of red over here. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but. But, please keep watching the show, and if you see something else you want to talk about tonight, call us back. Yeah, look at he's turning all red now.
Thanks so much for your call.
And definitely call us back next Friday night with a sports report, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. You have a great night.
Come up with a catchphrase.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Her catchphrase is going to be like, yeah, okay.
Like, and I'm Anastasia Beaverhausen, and them's the breaks. Or something like that.
Wow.
You gotta,
That's the same crickets that happened when she was on the phone.
Seriously,
I
really
guess nobody's listening.
Really
to
got to
Todd.
get a cricket thing
Yeah, you
for,
really
for
do.
some of Todd's one-liners, because
You really do.
some of them are funny and some of them are like really not funny.
yeah, and people need to silence their phones when it's game time.
Oh.
Yes.
Maybe that could be her sign-off phrase. Make sure to silence your phones at game time. This is Anastasia Beaverhausen. It's game time. Silence your phone.
No, really, silence it.
No,
Anyway,
really.
okay, so moving on to the second segment here of the show. This I found very interesting, and we started to go into it with the missed phone call and the very, I don't know what you'd call that voice that we got from the phone.
The automated.
Yeah.
Wait, so we're not gonna do the follow-up about Copperfield?
No, we already did. He threw it away before we even went to the break.
Chevelle, tell us what happened.
Yeah, it totally happened. Yeah, that's about it.
Where's the breaking news sting?
Because he blew it already. There you go.
I blew it already.
Chevelle has no concept of
There goes Chevelle's Big Willie weekend.
yeah. Seriously, you got to stop making me do that. Yeah, Chevelle has no concept of teasing before a break. That concept eludes him.
Sounds like you've been talking to my wife.
He does not understand. I was going to say he does not understand foreplay, but you totally beat me to it. Anyway, Oh, you gotta. Seriously, I'm gonna choke over here before this. I'm on my own spit or something.
My
I don't
evil
know.
plan will succeed.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. There we go.
My vision also ends.
So, Saudi Arabia has given citizenship for the first time to a non locally born person, and the citizenship that they granted was to a artificially intelligent robot whose name is Sophia. And this thing is about as close to an artificially intelligent sentient being as you can get.
How do we know that?
You can talk to it. It has the collective capabilities of something almost like the Google engine, and you can speak to it, and it can completely respond autonomously to all kinds of things. And so it announced its citizenship.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, at a very large discussion, and it thanked everybody for its historic, I don't know what you'd call that, citizenship.
Declaration?
I guess. Yeah, okay, sure. But here's the scary part about this thing, all right?
Is it the picture of this robot?
Yes, yeah.
You seeing this?
This thing is made. Yeah, can you put that up? For
Yeah,
everybody
it's
to
up
see?
on the screen.
Yeah.
You seriously see this thing?
Yeah, people
they couldn't put some hair on it?
Well, no, it does. They throw wigs on it. They
Jesus.
can. They actually made the face to look like Audrey Hepburn. And here, what else is freaky about this? I'm going to call it a thing, and apparently maybe you can't do that. It has LED lighting in its eyes that allow the irises.
I'm just glad you didn't say somewhere else.
Seriously?
I mean, that would come in handy.
I actually might.
Really, Todd? That's what you're thinking about when you see this thing. Anyway, its eyes can change color in different lighting situations.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, sure. What's very unnerving about this AI, and it's an artificially intelligent system, is that at its introduction, its creator, which is a gentleman by the name of David Hansen, the AI, as it's being called, was produced by Hansen Robotics. In a giant meeting, he asked it if it would destroy humans. And its answer was, okay, I will destroy humans. He asked
all right.
He literally asked it this question, will you destroy humans? And he said, please say no. And it said, okay, I will destroy humans. It has later responded, when it was granted citizenship at this big meeting, there were a lot of questions that were asked of it, including several about the fact that it had previously said it would destroy humans. And its response was that the questioners read too much Elon Musk. In case we don't remember who Elon Musk is, he's the founder of Tesla Motors and all kinds of other things. And he's been a very large proponent of regulation on the creation of AI because he believes that this will ultimately lead to the destruction of humanity. And so it's responded by saying that you read too much Elon Musk and watch too many Hollywood movies like RoboCop and that kind of thing. However,
RoboCop, more like Terminator.
That too. There you go.
Yeah,
However,
RoboCop is a cyborg.
and
That's
going back to your whole situation where you were talking about the Twilight Zone episodes earlier, or was that you that brought up the Twilight Zone episodes, Todd? It has also said that we don't need to be concerned about it. Quote, if you be nice to me, I'll be nice to you.
Ooh, people are not known for being nice.
Anybody
all.
remember Talking Tina?
Ever.
That episode of the Twilight Zone, where I'm talking Tina and you'd better be nice to me? I know, that goes right over your
Nope.
head, Todd.
Nope.
But,
Don't remember.
Okay, for those of us who actually watch television that challenges our
If
our
we remember,
thought
for
processes.
those who saw television in black and white,
I actually did go back. Yeah, I think they have all the episodes on Netflix or
They do.
Hulu or something like that. I actually started watching it, and those shows do hold up quite well.
They do.
Yeah, I really got to go back and finish it, but yeah, there's just so much crap to watch. But yeah, I saw an episode where, yeah, this guy was a prisoner and he was left on another planet, and
with
they
the
were
car.
coming, bringing him supplies, and they gave him a robot girlfriend.
Okay, Captain Tangent. Let's.
That was a good episode, right?
We're digressing
It's a
here.
robot girlfriend. It all ties together.
Yeah, he
robot
tied it together with a
girlfriend.
robot girlfriend, which apparently was what Todd was thinking about when he saw this thing in the first place, and LED lighting. So anyway, what concerns me is that we were having this discussion a couple of episodes back where we were talking about the automated kiosks that are replacing real people when you go to insert your favorite shopping experience.
Yeah, anywhere.
But it's now looking like that whole iRobot situation. And, I mean, literally, there's going to come a point, and this is something that Elon Musk has said and several other people have said, that at some point there's a situation that they refer to as the singularity. And that is the point at which these artificial intelligences...
Become self-aware.
Yeah, well, no, where their knowledge and comprehension and capability exceeds that of the human mind. It isn't even so much that they become self-aware. We're not talking Skynet here. It's just that when they become smarter than we are, that is the point at which humanity goes into decline, and then we start looking at a situation like the Terminator.
I mean, we've talked about stuff like that essentially being kind of the case these days, is that people don't know as much as they used to in general. Like, who remembers a phone number?
Yeah, well,
you
that's-
rely on technology.
We had a caller that brought that up in that discussion, as a matter of fact, that we are literally becoming dependent on the technology, while at the same time giving it the ability to become smarter than we are.
Yeah, oftentimes, especially if I don't know where I'm going, I used to back in the day look it up on a MapQuest or, get some directions and write it down and try to
Heck, I can
figure
one
it
up you.
out.
I used to use the Thomas
The
Guide.
Thomas
You know what a
Guide?
map
Oh,
is?
that
An
was
actual
in a
paper map.
That was an emergency situation where you had to pull out the Thomas Guide. I feel like I was really effed if I had to pull out the Thomas Guide.
Can we say that on the air? Effed?
I hope so, because we did.
Oh,
A little late now, Joe.
But yeah,
I suppose so.
more often than not, nowadays, if I don't know where I'm going, I get in the car and start driving. And while I'm on the way, I'm like, telling my wife, hey, pull it up on the GPS. Let's figure it out.
Well, I'm not so worried about my GPS, but things like this robot, this frightens me. We actually have to go and take a break. We're sort of behind schedule tonight. I guess it's a good show. We've been talking a lot about all kinds of stuff, but anyway, we'll come back. Incidentally, I have to throw this in before we go to break. Do you remember? A couple episodes back, also, we were discussing the fact that there is one show in particular that is skyrocketing to the top of the viewed list, and
the
that's the one
views.
that references some kind of porn.
Pornos.
Yeah. Well, I got a comment from somebody very recently that suggested that our opening theme music is very reminiscent of porn music. I'd never thought of it like that, but that was their interpretation.
I guess it
And
depends
so-
on what kind of porn they're watching.
That's an interesting point, too. All right, we got to go on a break. We'll be back right after this. This is Around Midnight with the Local Boys, 951-356-6882. Give us a call. We'll be back. Malibu Film Festival's films, charity events, and special programs continue to evolve in support of the arts in your community. You can help by becoming a sponsor of the Malibu Film Festival. Check them out and donate at MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. That's MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. All right, this is Around Midnight with the Local Boys. We are live, 951-356-6882 for Friday, October 27, 2017. And we have all kinds of stuff going on. Don't forget that you can get to us on the Twitter. You can reach me at Joe Carbonetta. You can get to Todd at Todd Fluker and Chevelle at Chevelle Divine. And you can always drop us a line at the Mixifyd at gmail.com. Todd, are there any other things that I'm missing here, or ways that you can reach us?
You're missing out on this muffin bread, whatever you call this stuff.
Yeah, again,
that's a Mixifyd banana bread.
A big shout out and thank you to Kelly for doing that for us. We really appreciate it. Feel free to send something like that to us anytime. We'll eat it.
Or if any other fans want to send us some banana muffin bread.
Any other what?
Are you saying we don't have any other fans? Maybe Anastasia wants to send us a...
Yeah, get Flo Rida to stop by.
I don't know if that would be such a good idea, but all right. Anyway, so getting back into what we were talking about here, I don't know what you guys think about this because we didn't really get that far into the discussion. But CJ, I'm really curious to see how you weigh in on this artificial intelligence revolution.
Until people decide that they really are willing to sacrifice convenience for actually having to do stuff, they're just going to have to deal with it. It is the reality that we live in. But the other side of that is I am not as concerned about artificial intelligence as I am the people who create it, because I think long before the artificial intelligence takes over, we got to worry about the people who have control over it, because that's kind of what's shaping.
Well, I think the big fear is
culture.
at some point we won't be able to control the technology. When it becomes intelligent enough to start thinking for itself, we technically don't have control of it anymore.
Well, here's what I do know. Like, the military and whatnot, they use pretty much all of the technology that's out there, all the computers, most of the stuff run on Windows. I always think of that one scene from South Park when they bring in Bill Gates. The general brings him in. Anyway, you guys got to see that. I don't know if I want to recommend that movie, but yeah. But one of the things they do before they release a version of Windows, the government has to get a copy of it, and they basically have all the people go in and they completely break down the code, and they find all the holes in it. But they don't report all of the holes back to Windows because they want to use those for cyber attacks in other countries that are using the software. So they always know before it gets released to the public what those back doors are. And any hacker worth their salt always leaves themselves an entrance. So the bigger concern would be if there's always going to be somebody who has a way to shut it down.
See, again, I'm not so sure that that's going to be the case.
There's always going to be somebody that
when
can
the
shut it down.
technology begins to think for itself, it's going to start looking for those holes on its own.
Unplug it.
I don't think that'll be as easy as. Did you ever see
How
the
is it
Terminator?
not gonna be
Did
easy?
you never see the Terminator?
Yeah.
How easy was it to unplug that guy?
No, that's first off, that's fiction.
Is
and
it?
That thing,
Is
that's way
it?
off
Is
in the
it?
future.
Well, okay, communicators were fiction in 1960-something when Star Trek was on the air. Now we've actually gone beyond the flip phone now. Now we have telephones that are more
but we're
powerful than
not
they put
doing-
guys on the moon with.
Well, the moon landing may not have happened.
Okay, again, enough with your conspiracy theories.
Well,
the
no,
mobile,
but
the
I
smartphone
just think
is
that
real.
People are really jumping way ahead of where the conversation should be, though. Because I mean, I think people should be more concerned just about how much of their information
He really is like
Facebook
Trump.
has.
Did he just say that we're going far ahead of where the conversation needs to be?
Yeah.
Wasn't that exactly the problem with Trump? That he doesn't do anything besides thinking in the moment. So basically,
Well, no,
you-
it's not thinking in the moment.
You
It's
have
just
that extreme
people
present
are
hedonism.
skipping over. People are skipping over the current issues, and they're trying to talk about solutions for problems that don't even exist yet. When we have actual problems right now that we should be worrying about.
Yeah, the problem is that they're actually developing this technology, and it is becoming reality.
It's out there. I firmly believe we'll do a pretty good job of destroying our planet before that technology has a chance to do it to us.
I'm not so sure. Now, by the
I'm
way,
pretty certain.
moving on, and
Because if you take out the power grid, what's it going to live on? It relies on power.
Solar.
yeah, I'm sure it'll
You
figure
take
out a
out
way.
the solar cells.
Once it becomes sentient, life finds a way. Todd,
Darken the
But
skies.
it has to. But it would have to create its own manufacturing base, and it'd have to be able to do this stuff and transport it without people knowing. People would have to be completely ignorant of all of this stuff.
we saw all this happen in the Matrix.
All right, we might be in the Matrix right now. I don't see that as a problem.
So, Todd-
I do believe that there are problems right now that people aren't
This
safe.
guy.
Does this scare you, Todd, or am I the only paranoid one here?
I mean,
No, I'm definitely paranoid. We just don't share the same level of paranoia.
no, I'm just pretty sure that I'm the one, so I'll be fine.
You're the
one?
He's Neo.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm Neo.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
So, I got our backs at least.
It looks like Yvette is
I
laughing
feel
at us
so
on the
much
chat here.
safer
So.
now.
Okay.
Knowing that Todd has our backs.
So taking this
Knowing
to
that Todd is the one.
taking this to even a further extreme, there is an ex-Google engineer, one of the engineers behind the self-driving car program at Google. This guy's name is Anthony Lewandowski, and we know this because he filed documents with the state of California, listing himself as the president and CEO of a religious organization called the Way of the Future. And the Way of the Future's plan is to create a godhead based on an AI and, quote, through understanding and worship of the godhead, contribute to the betterment of society.
Better living.
All right, so this
chemistry.
guy's gonna
We've kinda
create-
heard this before. This is not new.
This guy's going to create a god out of an artificial intelligence. Yeah, I know. This was also an episode of Star Trek, by the way.
Yeah, this is also the premise of Scientology.
Yeah, Scientology.
So again, you're saying that we are thinking about things that aren't a problem that we shouldn't be addressing, and to that I say there's a guy who's planning to make one of these things a god.
Make an AI god.
Look, if people want to be stupid, they have every right to. This
But
is
the
America.
problem is that they will. We've seen it time and time again with the Waco and the Heaven's Gate cult and
People will believe just about anything.
I gotta say the longer I think about it, I'm not so sure that the Waco people were really that big of a threat. What were they doing? They were crazy, yeah, but they were crazy in the middle of Texas somewhere.
Yeah, but eventually when they get large enough and they stockpile enough weapons and they have enough of a militia, then they become a threat. And if you sit around
Okay,
and
but who
wait,
are they a threat to?
See,
Who
by
are
the
they
way,
a threat to?
let's take a step back. Let's go way back to the beginnings of World War II. All right, in the beginning, Hitler came to power and he was like, I'm gonna blah 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 whatever, and everyone's like, oh yeah, look, that's nice. Germany's putting themselves back together again. And the next thing you know, they started a world war.
I am not a fan of the preemptive strike. Not the way that it happened in Waco. Not the way that it happened with Bush in the Middle East. I'm not a fan of that. I think you were stepping over a boundary when you do that. You are basically doing what you're accusing them of potentially doing. And I don't think that that's right. I don't think that that's right. I mean, they were basically being accused of exercising two of their constitutional rights, freedom of religion and freedom to bear arms. I don't know what else these people were being accused of. What were they being accused of?
What's going to happen when one of these AIs decides it wants to buy a gun?
They won't have to buy a gun. It's AI. It'll just manufacture one.
It'll just shoot AOL discs.
Yeah, maybe it'll just have the rifle built into its finger. I don't know.
Yeah, Lord knows there's enough of those AOL discs floating around. They're probably still like closets full of them somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some way it can break down a disc and turn it into shards and
You know what?
shoot
They
it.
wouldn't even have to do that. All they would have to do is just take over the power grid, number one. That'd be the first place they would need to go.
Good idea.
Then-
Why don't we just give them the whole breakdown of how they can take over the world and destroy
I already know.
humanity?
If I were a terrorist, this is the way I would do it. You go for the power grid, you take down the information systems, you take out communications, and then you start going for the physical
It's
infrastructure, the bridges,
interesting
and the
that he
all
just
that other
compared
stuff.
an AI to a terrorist.
Yeah, but it hasn't done anything yet. And if we're that worried, shut it off. Shut it off.
Okay. We're
But see,
gonna
and now here's the
send
thing.
you out
Here's the
in
thing.
front. We'll
No,
stand behind you. You go shut it off.
This is, and it's really interesting how this is working because science has become the new religion. Because the things that people are afraid of science doing were the same things that people were afraid of religion doing before science came into play. They were afraid that religion was gonna, do all this crazy weird stuff. Oh, those crazy Jewish people who believe in this guy walking on water, all this stuff. It happens with every religion. Science is the new religion. So you got some people who are just, the guy's literally making a god using science. Literally making a god. So it's just history repeating itself. And time again, ultimately, it's going to balance itself out until Jesus comes. Then he's going to take care of it.
Is it going to balance itself out?
I think it is.
We're talking about creating a race of... I hesitate to use the word being, but I don't know how else to describe it. You're talking about creating a race of beings that are intellectually and physically superior to humans.
Yeah, I just don't see another way around it. This again is an old story. Now, it's easier for me because of my Christian beliefs, because I don't think God's going to let anybody destroy this world. That's a right that he reserves exclusively for himself, and he's already outlined for anybody who's willing to read it exactly how it's going to happen. And there are stories in that same book that tell you how we've tried it before. I mean, the very first one will be the Tower of Babel. We wanted to elevate ourselves to a God position, and we get knocked down every single time we do it. The whole planet is riddled with nations that have tried to do this. The ruins of Rome, the ruins of Egypt, the ruins of Babylon. All of these are societies that built themselves up to a place. And basically what we're seeing is right now in the Western world, the U.S. specifically, we are on the precipice of that decay of every other empire.
And you don't see this as building, as trying to play God and building up something. You don't see that.
No, I don't.
Whatever happened to that expression about how man's desire to play God will be his undoing?
Yeah. It will be,
yeah, well,
but it won't be because a machine did it.
Really?
Because the phrase itself explains it. We're playing God. We're not God. We manufacture our own gods.
Yeah.
We are not God.
Well, and somehow I see us creating one that may ultimately turn around and destroy us at some point, or subjugate us.
But in so doing that, are we not destroying ourselves? We're not creating something that's going to just turn and destroy us. We have created our own destruction, and that's all humans have ever done all throughout history. And it's all done in the guise of progress.
Todd, how come you always remain silent on this? What are you looking at over there?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys are talking about some AI things and creating a god, but they're not actually creating anything, are they?
Just wait till your PlayStation rises up and smites you in the middle of a game.
Oh my goodness! Now you got my heart beating. Xbox is gonna.
See, I'm telling you, I knew I could distill it into something that would actually cause you to take some kind of note of the conversation.
Terms I can understand. That's the last thing I need. We need to put some legislation in place.
We need to stop this now.
But even with legislation, we create loopholes with that.
Well,
there's no escape, people.
Yeah,
no escape.
And at what point does one of these AIs become the person in charge? You know, when do
Who's to say that that's not already the case?
Develop the ambition to want to lead and ultimately rule everything?
Wait, so you're saying Trump might be an AI?
I don't think he's intelligent, but I think he's very artificial.
No, that would be an AUI, wouldn't it?
What?
An AU. That would be an AU.
Unintelligent?
Right, exactly,
okay,
yeah.
Okay. No, more artificial than intelligent. This is the other thing, and this is all just my own, philosophy and psycho, whatever you want to call it. But any person or any society that has ever taken control of anything, they typically have control before that control is declared. So by the time people are recognizing, it's already too late. So the fact that we're recognizing this, it's probably already too late.
Yeah.
Because we're too busy talking about, I don't want to bring up another issue when we do it.
All right, go
Kim
for it.
Kardashian.
So we're too busy talking. No.
What?
That's a whole other thing. But yes, all of these things are distractions. And the crazy thing is, like, the news stories, Trump is actually probably onto something with this fake news thing, because the news stories and the news trends are all actually being driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning. They're looking at what people are talking about, and then they amplify it, and you end up in this echo chamber that is driven by AI and machine learning.
That goes back to that whole conversation that Todd had brought up a few weeks ago about the artificial intelligence that Facebook had created that actually started their own language and started having their own conversations.
Yeah,
and they were probably beginning to plot the destruction of humanity.
That's how quick it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to be honest. If these machines are really smart, they know they really don't have to do much. Just wait for us to do it ourselves. Because if the machines are going to live forever, what do they have to fear from us?
On that note, it's about time for us to get out of here. This has been another exciting edition of Around Midnight with the local boys. Chevelle Devine, Todd Fluker, and of course myself, Joe Carbonetta, want to wish you a fantastic evening. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And we want to remind you to please don't drink and drive. And we'll be back next Friday night when we're live again.
Oh, man. We didn't even capitalize. We always forget to capitalize on these holiday weekends. Come on. Halloween's coming up. We didn't even talk about it.
That's right. Keep the trick-or-treaters safe. Watch the candy and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a good note. Don't drink and drive. Keep it safe out there when you're going to parties, people.
Very good point.
And if it didn't come in a wrapper, it might not be a Snicker
Yeah,
bar.
watch out for razor blades in your apples, guys.
Watch out for the little trick-or-treaters. Slow down when you're on the streets, especially in the residential areas. And as always,
Take a flashlight.
stay mixified. We'll see you next Friday night.